Hello, everyone, and welcome to Everything Iconic with me, Danny Pellegrino. I'm here with the one and only Garcelle. Of course, we know her from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, a co-host on The Real, Going to Bed with Garcelle, which just won a Webby Award, and so much more. Garcelle, how are you doing today?
I'm great, Danny. Thanks for having me on.
I'm so excited, Garcelle.
Me
Do I look
too.
nervous? I feel like a little nervous.
No, you look great.
They tell
Great
me.
lighting, by the way.
Thank you. They tell me I'm not allowed to ask too many Beverly Hills Housewives questions, so I'm going to scale that back. But I have plenty of other stuff to talk to you about. First, let's dive into Tena a little bit. Tell me about your partnership with them.
Yeah, I decided to partner with Tena because I feel like we're trying to keep it real. And if you know me, you know I try to keep it real 100% of the time. What we really want to do is get women to talk about their health and get women to talk about things that are happening to our bodies. We're not the only ones. To help women not feel lonely, alone, to help women not be embarrassed or have these taboo things that we can't talk about, whether it's aging or menopause or incontinence, like all those things that really happen to our bodies, and we're grateful to be alive. So why not continue, taking care of yourself so that you live longer and you're healthier?
You know, you're so open with women's issues, particularly on your podcast. Has there been something in the recent past that you've maybe woken up and said, why did I talk about that, or regret?
Like almost every week, almost every week. But what's really great is that that's the whole point of it, right? That's the whole point of being able to share and talk about, sex and relationship and body and what we like and what we don't like. I feel like we've come to a place where women are evolving. We are owning, who we are. And yes, I use the word owning.
Owning it.
Owning it. And
Garcelle, you hate Renna, don't you? I feel like
stop it right now.
I could tell.
Tena, F and Tena. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I think, it's really important. And I feel like women, my guests, whether it's celebrity guests or my girlfriends that leave my podcast, leave away feeling liberated. And it's fun to be able to share. And I feel like as women, we can share what's going on with our bodies, what, the changes that we're going through. Being in my 50s, the alternative is not what I want, right? So why not make the best of where I'm at and take care of myself and also spread the word so other, women can do so as well.
I'm so fascinated. You had such a illustrious and successful acting career, and you still do, of course. But I was listening to an interview with Kelly Ripa, actually, and she was saying, forgive me for misquoting, but she was saying when she was an actress and on a soap opera, when people would hate her, she knew they hated the character. And then when she moved to being more herself and hosting a talk show, if people hated her, she knew they hated her. And I wonder what that's like for you, because you've gone through a similar shift and now we're getting to know Garcelle, whereas before we were getting to know all these wonderful characters. So what's that?
Yeah, that she is spot on. And I love Kelly, but she is really spot on because, that's the hardest part about being on Housewives. No one's talking about the character that you're playing. They're talking about you. And when the world weighs in and people, pick their favorites or go after the people they don't like, that can be tough and you have to have tough skin. So that's what I'm learning in my second season on Housewives. I'm feeling much more comfortable with that, although sometimes it's hard.
Right. I want to go through some of your acting roles because I've been dying to kind of dive in, and I went to your IMDb page and there's really so much there. So I just picked a few and I wanted to kind of get maybe some memories or things that jump out at you about the experiences on these select few that I kind of picked here.
Great.
So first, Wild Wild West. You worked with Will Smith also on The Fresh Prince, multiple episodes. What do you remember about maybe working with Will or those two projects?
What I learned from Will is he's the epitome of a movie star. I mean, this man walks on set, knows everybody's name, talks to everyone from, the extras to craft service. And that's the one thing that I was like, I want to be like that. You know what I mean? He didn't walk in and it's all about him and let me know when everything's ready. He really embraces who he is. And if you go to a movie premiere and Will is there, he will sign every autograph. He will shake everybody's hands. He would take selfies. And to me, that's a great way to be, because those fans are what made you. So I loved that about him. And I'm afraid of heights. So when they had to drop me from the top and I fall into his hands, I was petrified. I thought I was going to die on that set.
Did they offer you a stunt double, or did you do it all yourself?
No, they used me.
Garcelle.
I know. I didn't have a choice back then. I was happy to be in it.
Speaking of leading men, you also work with Denzel, one of the greats on Flight. Oh, tell me about Denzel.
Denzel, my God. First of all, I thought he was drunk because he's such a great actor. I was trying to see if I could smell alcohol on his breath while we were doing the scene. My older son, Oliver, went to school with Malcolm and Olivia, his twins. And, the kids would always come to my house. Oliver would always go to their house. And one Sunday morning, Oliver had spent the night on Saturday night. And, I took a sleeping pill because it was my night. Single mom, you get to, sleep in. And I was disheveled. I think I was cleaning and the doorbell rang. And, I thought, security is dropping off Oliver, or, one of their people that work for them. And I opened the door and it was Denzel. And I just wanted to shut it back up, go get dressed real quick, put on makeup and come back. I was like, why is Denzel dropping Oliver off? It was really funny.
Is there one actor, I'm skipping around a bunch, I know, but is there one actor that you really thought you shared a scene with and you're like, God, they're good?
Oh, I would say definitely Denzel is one of them. I would definitely say Jamie Foxx, but working also with Anthony Hopkins in Bad Company was pretty impressive. Right. Pretty impressive.
Right. There's a credit on your resume that I've been dying for someone, when you're in all of these interviews for Housewives and all of these things, like I've been dying for someone to ask you about I Know Who Killed Me with Lindsay Lohan. Now that was
a disaster.
Okay, so tell me about it. That
was a disaster because at the time, this was in the middle of all her craziness, right? And we had to stop production because she wouldn't show up and, all that stuff. And I remember when she did finally come back and we were ready to shoot, they had the biggest cue cards and she was literally reading from a cue card. And I had never seen that before in my life. And I was just like, oh my God. And we got through the movie doing it that way. So I'm happy to see that now, though, that she's gotten her, she's in a better place. But that was crazy. I'd never seen that.
I heard rumors that Johnny Depp wears like an earpiece so people can give him his lines that way.
Really? That would have been a better way to do it.
That was at sort of the height.
Saturday Night Live,
That was at the height of like kind of the whirlwind around Lindsay. And so I can't imagine. One of my favorite people is Bonnie Hunt. And you were on an episode of Life with Bonnie.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's so long ago. She was great. I mean, I loved her. She was on One Day at a Time, right? Am I thinking right? No.
I don't. No. Bonnie was. She had a talk show, and she was on Cheaper by the Dozen, and she used to fill in for Letterman quite a bit.
I don't remember a lot of that, but I remember she was a lot of fun.
Right.
I don't remember a lot on that of that set.
Okay, Jamie. Of course, we know you as Fancy from the Jamie Foxx show. You also worked with him on White House Down with Channing Tatum as well. Tell me about Jamie. And Channing, too. I want to know.
Oh, my God. Channing. I was coming out of the makeup trailer and Channing was like walking towards me. I swear to God, it felt like it was in slow motion and I could hear I heard music. It was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen. It was like he was walking on water. He was so fine. And I said, hi, I'm a huge fan. And he goes, I'm a huge fan of you. And I was like, what? That was really cool. It was great. That particular movie was the first time that I worked with Jamie since the Jamie Foxx show. So it was really cool that he was playing the president, I was playing the first lady, and we got to hang out and it felt like, old times. Yeah, I'm so proud of him.
You're such an icon. Like you've done all of these amazing roles in these amazing films. Do you pinch yourself sometimes thinking, I don't know. Does that make sense?
Sometimes when people remind me, like my girlfriend will say, like if I'm saying something, she's like, do you know who you are? And,
right.
So that's the only time I get a check. I mean, when I look back, it's incredible. It's incredible the things that I've been able to do. And I don't take it for granted.
I I recently had Candy Burris on the show, and
Yeah.
we didn't even really talk about Housewives at all. And some people got mad at me because, they were like, you didn't ask any Housewives questions, but I'm like, we
Right.
have
Of course.
Candy fucking Burris on the show. Like I mean, come on. And I feel the
Right.
same way with you. It's like, you've done so much, and I don't know.
Well,
Okay.
you can talk about Housewife a little bit.
Curb Your Enthusiasm, though. I want to know, what was that experience like?
I love that show. I love that show. So when I was asked to be in it, I loved it. I couldn't believe I was on set with Larry David. And the best part of that show as an actor is that when you leave the set that day, you don't have to memorize anything. There's no homework to do when you get home because it's all improv. And it was just a lot of fun. Right. It was a lot of fun. We were just actually quoting him a little while ago. We're saying, we were just saying, what was it? We were just, pretty good.
I love Larry.
Me too.
The Coming to America movies, you were in both of them. The newest one just came out over quarantine, and also came out at a really good time. I feel like we all just sort of needed something funny. I always get, this is sort of an aside, but I feel like there aren't enough comedies anymore in general. And so it came around at a time where I think we were also starved for comedy.
I agree. And I thought Craig Brewer did a really great job with the sequel because, first of all, it was so long ago. And for people who had never seen it or people who loved it so much, there was a mix of both new and old. I thought the cast was great, the people that they brought on. And yeah, we needed it. At first, I was really bummed. We weren't going to have a premiere. We weren't going to be in theaters because I thought the costumes and the set was just so beautiful that you needed to see it that way. But I think a lot more people perhaps seen it because they could see it from home.
Right.
Yeah.
I know on Housewives we saw last season, you sort of working behind the scenes on some scripted projects. And I wonder if you could update us, like what's going on with that stuff.
Split Marriage, we're looking to shoot in the fall. That was the one that we met with the directors for. So because of COVID, we had to, everything had to get pushed. We have a lot of sex scenes in it. And we weren't obviously able to shoot then, but we're looking at September, October shoot date.
Did you see your friend Denise was doing the soap opera and she had the mannequin for the sex scene?
First she had the mannequin and then they brought her husband Aaron in and shot him from the back, which was clever. I mean, you got Hollywood has to keep going. The show must go on.
Wait, okay. I got to ask you, what did you think about on this week's episode of Beverly Hills, Rinna talking about Harry's friend who was a rapist, comparing that to Denise? I mean, what the fuck was that about, Garcelle? It was crazy.
I have no idea. It was so insane. It's like, what? And I think I saw a lot of memes last night that were spot on with that. It's like, are you kidding? Get out of here with that story. Don't ever tell that story again.
I wondered if we missed something, like if there was something cut out because it made no sense, the comparison to me.
Nope.
I heard you say in an interview that you don't consider yourself like a career housewife, meaning how much longer do you see yourself?
I don't know. I mean, I'm enjoying doing it. I don't know. I take everything season at a time.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about Going to Bed with Garcelle. Now, you guys just won an Emmy. A Webby, sorry. That's okay. I asked you about some topics that you maybe regretted. Is there one you haven't gotten to that you're sort of dying to get to?
In terms of guests or in terms of topics?
Topics.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're always going to continue to push the envelope a little bit and talk about, sex relationships. And, I also love the womanhood of it, like the woman code. Like, I feel like the girls and the women that come on the show, and we have had men, it's been really great to sort of compare and talk and bond and not feel like we're not trying to shame anyone. We don't want anybody to leave there feeling like, they shouldn't have said that. It's really all about love and it's all about sharing, and bringing it back to Tena is what I feel that women need to do, is continue conversation so that we can all help each other out. I think the sisterhood is really, really strong. And sometimes we get away from that.
It's interesting now, and you've really embraced a lot of these different outlets to talk about these issues that previously weren't talked about in the media, whether it be on Housewives or through your partnership with Tena or your podcast, because I think even on something like the Real Houses of Beverly Hills or some of the other franchises, we see women over 40 talking about sex and dating and businesses maintaining friendships. And previously, those just weren't things that were in the media landscape, unfortunately.
No, totally. And I really feel like I wish we'd celebrate that more. I mean, the fact that you have, I believe it's eight women who are business women, and we're taking care of our kids and we're looking great. And we're having real conversations that I wish people focused on that a little bit more, because I really do think that's pretty remarkable.
Right.
It's modern.
Yeah.
We're modern women.
This season on Beverly Hills and on New York, there's been a lot of discussion about race. And I think a lot of fans, myself included, I feel like the diversification of these shows has been a little bit troubling in terms of it feels like a lot of the women of color are having to do a lot of the heavy lifting with the conversations.
Yes.
Yeah. I wonder how do you feel about the way that diversification has been handled? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it definitely makes sense. And I do feel at times we are doing the heavy lifting. And I think it's because we've never had to have those conversations because they weren't diversified. And I think when you have diversity, you're going to have diverse conversations, right? You want my point of view. I want your point of view. My point of view is totally different from yours, whether we live next door to each other or even in the same families. People have different lives. And I think I'm happy that these shows are having more in-depth conversation. And yes, we're still going to have fun. We're still going to be glamorous. But why not talk about the things? If it's a reality show, this is my reality. So I should be able to talk about it.
Right. How are you liking the cast right now? Do you love Kathy as much as the rest of us love Kathy?
I love Kathy so much.
She's the best.
She's such a hoot. She's so sweet. She's lovable. She's kooky. She's really a lot of fun. When we were in Tahoe, she came into my room without any cameras. And she said, I just want to tell you that I think you're amazing. I think you're going to do I have a feeling you're going to do these amazing things. And don't focus on finding a man. Just focus on being you. And she says all these amazing things. And I said, thank you, Kathy. And, I was gracious about it. And then she went back and she told Kyle what she told me. And Kyle goes, you're not a swami, Kathy. She's already doing amazing things.
You're already hugely successful. Oh. Right.
But she's sweet. I love her.
Anything you could say about the Erika Jayne of it all?
Woo, it's tough. It's tough. I don't wish that on anybody. We're just going to have to see where it unfolds, honestly. It's tough.
And then quickly, Sutton and Crystal, do you think they could ever get on the same page? Like, what's happening there?
Woo, I don't know. It might take a little bit more time and a lot more alcohol. I don't know. I think they just got off on the wrong foot, honestly. And, Sutton was in a really fragile time. And I think Crystal was a little tough on her. So hopefully they'll mend it. I don't even know. I'm watching like you are.
I know. I'm switching gears though. What are your hopes and dreams for the future? Like, is there one role that you really want, or is there a project you really want to get off the ground? Or
yeah, I mean, I want to continue doing what I'm doing. I want to be able to, continue producing, continue growing my brand. And I would love to play the Basic Instinct role, that Sharon Stone. I would love to recreate that.
Oh, I'd love to watch it, Garcelle. We need it to happen. Come on.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I want to let you go. I do have two quick questions that I ask every guest. First of all, your favorite Mariah Carey song, and then also, if you were choosing for People Magazine's Sexiest Man Alive, who would you choose?
Oh, those are really good. Okay, Mariah Carey song. I do have a lot of her songs. Dream Lover's a good song. Dream Lover's a good song. And if I had to pick someone to be on the cover, I always like giving people a shot. I would say maybe John David Washington.
There you go. Garcelle, anything else you want to tell us about Tena or
yes, please go to Tena.us. And I just want women to be able to have conversations and not be embarrassed. We're all growing older. Our bodies are changing, and it's important to keep the conversation going.
Well, Garcelle, thank you so much for taking the time. It was such a delight. I'm a huge fan of yours on Housewives
Thank
and
you,
all of
Danny.
your work. So just, thank you for all that you've given us in the
Oh,
world of
you're so sweet.
entertainment.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm sending all
All
my
right.
love your way. Hopefully
Oh,
we'll
me
get to
too.
meet in
Thank you.
person soon.
Okay. Oh my God, that would be so nice.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, Garcelle.